Hello YouTube, Shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another awesome video. And this time we once again reach into my ever-growing stash of personal fanfics that I enjoy to read. This time we're going to do a little something different, but before I actually get to it, I'm going to do a little backstory on this particular fandom. Now, I enjoy cartoons, like a lot of fanfiction authors do. Unfortunately, I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, where in the 80s, all cartoons were pretty much 30-minute ads for toys, like Transformers, G.I. Joe, the Thundercats, and etc., etc. A lot of which I had toys for, don't ask. In the mid-90s, I saw cartoons become more mature, tell more progressive stories. You had your Gargoyles, your Batman the Animated Series, your Supermans, your Batman Beyonds, mostly just DC shows, but all had sort of dark undertones and told deeper stories that showed that the animators had a greater respect for the intelligence of its viewership. It also saw the rise of anime with the arrival of such things as Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon during this time. Around the 2000s, I believe, that's when things started going downhill, where cartoons became more about loud noises and silly sounds and crazy visuals than actually telling intelligible stories with continuity and great character growths. This was a dark time, especially for Saturday morning cartoons, because a lot of them were just mindless dreck that would only appeal to people who have ADHD. Not an insult to them, I'm just saying that's what it seemed like to me. And a few years ago, with several of my favorite of Saturday morning cartoons going by the wayside, I didn't really have that much to look into as far as cartoons go. But nowadays, we see a resurgence of more intelligent and thought-provoking cartoons lately. Your regular shows, your Gravity Falls, your Adventure Times, your Steven Universes, and then I'm proud to say that these cartoons have rekindled my interest in cartoons overall, so I'm not just watching anime or what have you. Now, one particular show that I found myself liking was Star vs. the Forces of Evil. By all rights, I didn't give this show much of a chance because I looked at it and I thought with all the crazy colors and the silly premise that there wasn't much to this show. But after watching it for the full season, I like this show. I dare say I love it. It's turned out to be one of my favorite shows, and I actually watch it every chance I get, even though it's only 13 episodes. Well, actually, it's a little bit more than that, since the episodes themselves are split into half-hour stories, a la Adventure Time and regular show. But they still tell good enough stories that keeps me engrossed. What I mean. So, what is it about? Simple. Star vs. the Forces of Evil centers around Star Butterfly, a beautiful but crazily energetic young girl who happens to be a princess from another dimension, from a planet called Muni. She is sent to Earth, particularly Echo Creek, to learn to be a better prince, to be, in her mother's words, a better princess, as well as to keep her ass out of trouble, which kind of doesn't work. She lives as a foreign exchange student under the roof of the Diaz family, who is used to housing foreign exchange students, although she doesn't hide the fact that she is a magical princess from another dimension. She is shown around by the Diaz's only son, Marco, who is called by his fellow students the Safe Kid because of his adherence to the rules and him not wanting to take any risks or chances. Despite this, the two of them become the best of friends, and over the story, we see these two becoming closer and closer. It's amazing how close these two are, and not actually dating. Now, there is no real hints that the two of them actually like each other beyond friendship, but they have, once again, I refer to my discussions about pearl shipping, a romantic friendship, in that it is a deep friendship that borderlines on romance. Even though both of them do have their own significant crushes that they want to impress or get together with. For Star, it's a guitar player named Oscar, And for Marco, it's the girl he's had a crush on since preschool, Jacqueline Tyler. How do I describe them? Well, Star is more described as energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and caring, willing to do whatever it takes to care for those around her. Her sheltered life has led her to being curious to a reckless degree. Like, she will do things on the spur of the moment without really putting any thought into it. She's a complete contrast to Marco, who, like I said, his safe kid moniker is a guy who pretty much plays it straight. He doesn't break the rules, doesn't go off the beaten path. Everything about him is in order. He's not dull by any stretch of the imagination. He's still interesting. It's just that he's the safe kid. That's what I mean to say. Both of them bring something to the table for each other. For Marco to Star, he brings a stability that she needs. He reins in her over hyper tendencies and keeps her from going too crazy, which is a chore in and of itself. And for Star, she brings to Marco someone to confide in, as well as a source of endless adventure. I mean, even though she does bring him along, even though her presence on Earth brings a lot of monsters and crazy adventures throughout dimensions that risk his life on a nearly daily basis, he doesn't mind it because he thinks Star is awesome and that he enjoys the thrill of it because it adds a little extra spice to it. To his life, I mean. So, of course, I'm like the pairing of Star and Marco, or as fans like to call it, starrco. Now, there isn't much in the way that you're going to find in this series. Like I said, it's only 13 episodes long. Well, the first season. I hope it gets a second season. I really hope so, because I like this show. So, of course, after watching it, I had an urge to read more about it, so I turned to fanfiction. Fortunately, I haven't run into a lot of, well, in my opinion, good starrco fiction out there because, a lot of people just don't get it. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a snob or anything. That's just how I like to read my fanfics. I like some complexity in it, to delve deeper into relationships more than just this girl likes him and he likes her and blah, 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 blah. I was about to give up hope until I ran into this little, up at the time, 4-chapter long fic, and I instantly fell in love with it. So what was it? This fic is called Princess Charms by Zehntacles. You can I will leave a link in the description. This one, what first grabbed me was, of course, the summary, which is things that you learn when you travel with someone close to you. Sometimes those things you learn about a person, there are things you learn about a person that you're with. Sometimes they're about yourself, and sometimes they're about the other person. Star and Marco share a few moments together that test the definition of their friendship. Now, as for the details about what this one is about, well, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you, if you are not a fan of some smut, then this is not the one for you. Not to say it's full-on sexual or hentai-ish or anything like that, but there are moments where it does get kind of intense. The start of it starts out with Star and Marco doing homework. Well, and Marco goes off to make nachos because Star loves his nachos. He comes back and he finds her on his computer looking at his porn websites. He's a teenage boy. Of course he's going to look at porn. At first he thinks, oh crap, I got to explain to her what porn is, but she reveals that she knows what porn is because they have porn on Muni. Go fig. Anyway, the conversation turns to whether or not it was okay for people to see each other naked, which Marco says it's not a good idea for her to show her goody bits online, and it's pretty good advice. At first, she doesn't really understand it, but Marco has to go into detail. I'm not going to keep spoiling things for you. And basically, she says, well, what if I just show you? And that's where things get interesting. The chapters don't automatically jump to smut. There's a lot of background information about these moments that lead up to these intimate little moments between them, where it sort of pushes the borderline between friendship and romantic interest. They do share a lot of kisses, I will tell you that, and a few hot, intense moments like that, like in one particular chapter where Star wants Marco to gain more confidence when asking out Jackie Lynn Tyler, and pretends that she is Jackie Lynn Tyler for Marco to practice on, which inevitably leads to them making out. And it's actually pretty well written, so I'm not going to spoil too much for it. But it's so interesting to read this and watch as these two are struggling with feelings and emotions that the two of them haven't experienced before. I mean, they want to remain friends, but then add this new element into it. It's hard for them to... how do I put this? It's very difficult for them to actually try to balance it, to find a balance between friendship and other things. Because, of course, as they've it's evident in the series itself that the two of them do find each other remotely attractive. I mean, Star has said that Marco does look cute on occasion, and Marco does comment that she does look good in a dress. So this is just a very interesting that delves more into the psychology of this particular friendship and relationship. I'm not going to spoil too much for it. I really want you to read this for yourself. Now, it's like I said, when I first read it, it was only like 4 chapters long. 2 more chapters have been issued, and I will tell you that the latest chapter 6, it gets crazy. Really crazy. I'm not going to spoil shit for you. Don't worry, there's no sex or anything like that. In fact, in one chapter, Star outrightly says that she's just not ready to have a sexual relationship, even if it's with Marco. And Marco, of course, acquiesces because he doesn't want to hurt her. Doesn't mean they can't play around or stuff. But it's just so interesting to read this kind of fic that goes so deep into the relationship. Not just the physical aspects, but the mental and emotional aspects of it. Because at one point, Marco actually questions whether or not this could change things between them. And while he would like things to change, he doesn't want to lose the bond that he has with Star. It's just rather interesting to read. So, why are you still listening to this? If I haven't convinced you enough to read this amazing fic, then I don't know what will. It's called Princess Charms by Zehntacles. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So I hope you give it a shot and give it a try. It is very, very good. It is under the romance and humor. 6 chapters, about 44,000 words, which is a pretty good length. Reviews clocking in at 141. Nice. Faves 260. Followers 218. It was only updated last month, January 18th, but it was published last year, of January of 2015. So I definitely give it a read if you really want to. If you like Star and the Forces of Evil versus the Forces of Evil, are a big starrco fan and like well done writing, check this one out. It's definitely worth your time. So yeah, that's my video. You like what you've heard? Link, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions, comments, or any suggestions for good fanfics that I should probably give a try? Leave it below. I'll get back to you. You already know about my Twitter, hashtag Captain Luffy. Become a Patreon to support me and to support my channel, and hopefully I can do more of these things. And if you want to see more of these videos from about me talking about my own personal favorite fan fictions and why you should read them, just support the channel and you know what to do. So until next time, this has been Shintigercurl, that dude the straw hat, saying good day.